Children are much wiser than what we often give them credit for, and they can express their ideas and points of view very powerfully.
It was really important in the community services team to make sure that we were responding to the community, from children through young people to the adult group and then to older people as well. And the gap that was really identified was the children and families area. We met with the AEDI team and we saw the data presented, and one of the things that stood out was the dark green band across both Campbelltown and Paradise. So what we knew was that we had developmentally vulnerable children in those areas, but we didn't know why they were developmentally vulnerable.
The Australian Early Development Index, or AEDI, was introduced to try and give us a picture of how children are developing and learning in the early years across Australia. What the results told us in Campbelltown was there were a couple of suburbs where children were more likely to be developmentally vulnerable, particularly in the areas of social competence, emotional maturity and physical health and wellbeing.
So we actually started working with the Community Development Coordinator at AEDI in regards to listening to children's voices to hear what they like about the council area.
Here at AEDI, because we do document so much of what children choose, what they like and why to empower their learning, we wanted to do that for the community because children aren't normally given that voice. They're not usually asked, why they like the park. They're not always empowered to think about why, all the concepts behind, why do you like to go there, who with, what do you like to do. So it's really just giving them a voice to share and just communicate that across to the community. We wanted to capture children's voices right across the whole centre. It says what they want in their community. And in the preschool room, which is the 4-year-olds, they actually design their own places. So if they could have any kind of place they wanted in the community, what would it be? So they designed it, represented it in different ways, and some of them even created it in the preschool yard.
Are these bits of the flying blocks? These are purple love hearts.
Alexander designed some monkey bars, and he decided that he liked these so much he wanted to use the monkey bars to have a diving board, to launch off into a pool, and there was lots of discussion around safety and, how do you think you could do that in a way that was appropriate.
The AEDI project, I think, has been very beneficial, especially for Alexander. Thinking of an idea, creating it, following it through with making it. I think he was most proud of all when he actually constructed it in the Il Nido preschool playground.
The difference between children and adults when they actually answer questions is two completely different things. If you really listen to children's voices, it's the way they say it. So it could be little things like they like going to McDonald's. Parents just assume they like going to McDonald's because they like eating nuggets and chips. But sometimes it's actually because they like to actually sit down at a meal with their parents, sitting across the table from them. So it's just listening to what they actually say rather than assuming what they say. So that's the difference between parents and children. Children under the age of 5 haven't had an opportunity to actually have their voices heard, and they're going to be, of course, the future in our community. So it's a great way for them to drive what they would like to see in our community. It could be little things like they've gone out to playgrounds and they're sitting on a swing and they're too small to actually kick their legs. We've had comments that a child is scared because they've got a gun shop near their home. They think bad people walk into that shop. They buy bad things, so they're bad people that go in there. Our development assessment panel could be thinking about putting something like businesses next to residential areas. Little things like that could actually change something for the future for these kids as well, whether it be a safer community, a healthier community, anything like that.
The council is in the process of developing a social plan. So this project will inform the development of that social plan, and there will be one chapter designated to children and families. So the children who've participated in this project will actually see some of their comments and some of their suggestions included within that social plan. The assumption has always been that children are passive passengers in the community, in that they go along with what their families sort of say and do. But children in themselves actually have the capacity to make decisions, shape what goes on in their world. They actually know what they like and what they don't like. But maybe what's happened is that they haven't had an avenue to express that. Yeah, I think it's actually giving children the chance to stand up and say, I have an opinion and I'm a citizen in this community and I have every right to say what I would like.